What if I told you that you could take a tiny piece of physical gold and with the right combination of law and technology, turn it into $100,000 of programmable digital credit? It sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, that's the bold and frankly mind-bending idea we're going to unpack today.
So here's how we're going to break it all down for you. We'll kick things off with the core concept, gold to digital credit. Then we'll dive deep into the legal and sound money principles that make it all possible. After that, we'll get into the tech, the blockchain engine that runs it all. Then we'll look at how it's used in the real world, how you can build whole economies on top of it, and finally, what this all means for the future of finance.
All right, let's get right into it. The whole system is powered by one simple but really powerful question.
What if you could take a small physical asset, in this case, something called a goldback, which is a note that contains actual gold and is even recognized as legal tender in places like Utah? And what if you could legally declare its worth way, way more than its face value? And when I say way more, I mean a lot more. We're talking about taking a note worth about $10 and transforming it into a $100,000 credit instrument. This incredible revaluation, well, that's the engine that drives this entire model. So the big question is, how on earth is this even possible? It really boils down to three key steps. First, you take that physical gold back and secure it in a vault. Step two, and this is crucial, you create a notarized affidavit, a sworn legal document that officially declares its new higher value. And finally, you take that new value and tokenize it on a blockchain, creating a digital twin that's ready to be used in the digital economy. Okay, so for this to work, the legal side has to be absolutely rock solid. And that's where this gets really interesting. This isn't about some brand new untested legal theory. It's about building on centuries of established law to create real trust in a digital asset. It all hinges on this concept called the sound mind and sound money doctrine. Now, that might sound a little old-fashioned, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It says that if your commercial intentions are lawful and clear, that's the sound mind part, and you back those intentions with a real, tangible, historically lawful asset like gold, that's the sound money, then you can create a legitimate credit instrument. That affidavit we mentioned, that's the key. It's the legal proof of that clear intent. And listen, this isn't just an abstract idea. It's grounded in real, specific laws. You've got the Uniform Commercial Code, or UCC, doing the heavy lifting. Article 9 handles the whole using an asset as collateral piece. Then, and this is a huge piece of the puzzle, UCC Article 12 actually gives tokens a legal name, controllable electronic records. You also have support from state laws, like in Utah, where goldbacks are already legal tender, or in Florida, which is super friendly to digital assets. And everything circles back to that notarized affidavit. It is the legal glue holding the entire structure together.
All right, so we've got the legal foundation. Now let's talk about the tech that makes this whole thing tick. This is where the blockchain comes in, not just as a ledger, but as a compliance engine that automatically enforces all those rules we just talked about. First up is a token standard called ERC 3643. The easiest way to think about this is like a digital bouncer at an exclusive club. It stands at the door and checks everyone's ID. Only people who are on the whitelist, meaning they've gone through KYC, they're fully verified, can hold or even receive these tokens. So right from the get-go, this is a permissioned compliance system. We're talking the exact opposite of the Wild West of crypto. Next, we have ERC 4337. You might have heard this called account abstraction, and honestly, it's a total game changer. What it does is create these programmable smart wallets. This means a trustee can actually build rules right into the wallet itself. Think about it. You can automatically block transfers to suspicious addresses, you can set daily spending limits, you name it. And the best part? Every single action leaves a crystal clear, auditable trail. And to round out the tech stack, there's ERC 4626. This standard basically creates a tokenized vault. It's the secure container where all this value is held and managed. It's been specifically designed for situations like this, where a trust is dispersing funds and needs everything to be perfectly auditable. It gives you real-time data that you can just plug straight into accounting software, making risk assessment and management incredibly transparent. Okay, so we've covered the law, we've covered the tech, which is all great, but the real question is, what do you do with it? What's the point? Let's get into the practical, real-world uses for this kind of tokenized credit. So you can't just go and spend this on anything. It's not a blank check. The credit is specifically for what are called standard debt obligations, or SDOs. Now, that's just a formal way of saying it's for pre-approved purposes. Things like lawful living expenses, settling contracts, or other specific spending that's been greenlit by the trust. And let me give you a perfect, concrete example from the source material. Buying a car.
This is where you see everything we've talked about, the state laws in a place like Florida, the legal affidavit, the compliant tokens, and it all comes together to let someone make a major purchase like a vehicle.
But this whole framework goes way beyond just helping one person buy a car. The really big picture here is that these same legal and tech rails can be the foundation for building entire digital ecosystems.
Think of it like this. This system is like the financial plumbing for a new kind of digital economy. Imagine you're building, say, a music app or a platform for fan engagement. Instead of having to build your own super complex, legally compliant payment system from the ground up, you can just plug into this. It's a ready-made sound money settlement layer.
And once you have that in place, the possibilities for monetization just explode. I mean, look at all these potential revenue streams. You could have one-time upload fees for artists, premium subscriptions for listeners, in-app token packs. You could charge for featured artist placements, take a small spread on fan tips, bring in brand sponsorships for playlists. And that's before you even get to the digital goods. Think avatar shops, exclusive NFT drops, VIP access passes, both digital and physical merch, and even selling premium analytics back to the creators. Seriously, the list is huge. Okay, so let's pull back for a second and look at the big picture. What does a system like this really mean for the future of finance? It's all about building a bridge between two worlds, creating what you might call a hybrid model. On one hand, you have traditional finance. It's centralized, it has tons of intermediaries, and it can be pretty slow. On the other hand, you had DeFi, which is decentralized, lightning fast, but, let's be honest, it often operates in a legal gray area. This hybrid model tries to take the best of both. It's legally anchored and regulated like TradFi, but it's programmable and offers audible, near-instant settlement like DeFi. It's a pathway to tokenize real-world assets in a way that regulators can actually get comfortable with. And that really leads us to the final multi-trillion-dollar question. We all know there are trillions upon trillions of dollars locked up in real-world assets. Real estate, fine art, commodities, you name it. The Holy Grail for years has been figuring out how to bring that value on-chain in a safe, legal, and scalable way. So could this be the blueprint? Is a framework that so carefully combines old-world law with new-world tech the key that finally unlocks that massive wave of assets?